And it's my pleasure now to introduce Ilenia Vidili. She's a customer centricity advisor, author, and keynote speaker. She has an extensive background in corporate marketing and customer experience and helped many brands to sharpen their focus on and become more customer-centric. So please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for the kind introduction, and thank you for having me. Such a pleasure to see you all. Thank you. I know you're here to talk about customer experience, but actually I want to talk about snakes. Yes, snakes. Customer experience design begins when we walk in our customer's shoes, listen to their needs and their expectations, and fulfill them. We need to get rid of the thought that customers come to us because we sell flashy lottery tickets. That's a transactional mindset. And we need to start creating an environment that creates engaged, motivated, and emotionally connected customers on a consistent manner. But the brilliant thing about Hasbro is kiddos, because they don't just sell to kids, but they sell to kiddos. Kiddos are the grown-ups who never outgrew fun. So essentially, they realized that they could grow their business model by following their initial customers, so people like me who used to play with Monopoly years ago, into adulthood and create experiences and products that matured alongside them. In fact, 60% of Hasbro revenue comes from customers 13 years old and up. Brilliant. They diversified their customer base. Now, I'd like to take a very quick exercise with you before we go ahead. Please scan this QR code and reply to this question. Who is your competition? Let's take a minute. Who is your competition? I'd like to see names of other companies, perhaps. 71% of customers prefer different channels depending on where they are and what they are doing. 71%. That means that my dad, who's a boomer in his 70s, might want to go down the road and chat with the person behind the counter, and my sister, who's a Gen Z in her 20s, might want to play on her phone. But this also means that these two customers might want to change their experience, start in one place and end in another place. So we need to give the chance to everyone to choose which channel to use, and if they want to start in retail, interchange in another place. We need to start getting rid of the transactional relationships of buy ticket, wait for a draw, and maybe win, and create an ongoing engagement and relationship with customers in which people interact, play, have fun, engage, and repeat. That's what we want. Do you like languages? I love languages. If you are like me, you like languages, but you don't like studying languages. That's the difference. So I started learning languages in a very old school way, buying books, go to language lessons, and interact with the teacher, maybe practice a little bit. It was boring, dry, slow. I'll give up many times, maybe start again. You know the cycle, right? However, before going on my trip to Tunisia, I realized I needed to brush up my French again. So I downloaded this app, Duolingo, which for those of you who don't know, Duolingo is a language learning-based app. Guess what? I'm totally hooked. I'm totally hooked. Because Duolingo took a boring task, learning language, and turned it into fun and entertaining. Essentially, they blew up the textbook model and classroom model and created a sticky environment by tapping into our consumer psychology and what motivates people. They created tiny habits for people to come back. They created fun for people to stay. They gave people control and they created a community. Duolingo said, let's make it fun, easy, rewarding, and in small doses. That's exactly what it is. 5 minutes lessons, cute animations, point and levels, and a strike counter. And that strike counter is how many times and days in a row you are committed to play. Which is brilliant, because it taps into our psychological drive not to break the chain. Duolingo also creates a social competition. Because if you want to retain and acquire customers, you don't just give them a product or service, in this case, lottery tickets or language lessons, but you give them a reason to come back. I'm not just playing or learning languages. I am competing against Ines because Ines must not win. You might be thinking, where do we even start? Let's start by asking ourselves a very quick question. Are we building a business that fits into people's lives, or asking people to fit in our business? That's different. And with this, thank you so much for having me, and I wish you an amazing day. Thank you.